Spanish Mestizos are individuals of mixed Spanish and Filipino heritage, primarily linked to the colonial period when Spain ruled the Philippines. Their presence in the archipelago is a result of limited Spanish immigration and intermarriage. Historical context. Colonial era. During the Spanish colonial period, only about 4,000 Spaniards resided in the Philippines. This small number resulted in minimal intermarriage with the local population. Population dynamics. The Mestizo population was significantly influenced by the larger Chinese Mestizo community, which emerged due to substantial Chinese immigration during the same period. Characteristics of Spanish Mestizos. Cultural identity. Heritage. Spanish Mestizos often identify with both Spanish and Filipino cultures, reflecting a blend of traditions, languages, and customs. Language. Many speak Spanish, Philippine Spanish, Filipino, and other local languages, showcasing their diverse cultural background. Demographics. Population size. Spanish Mestizos represent a small fraction of the overall population. Historical records indicate that they were a minor group compared to the indigenous population and the Chinese Mestizos. Misconceptions and realities. Common misunderstandings. Intermarriage. There is a misconception that Spanish Mestizos are a result of widespread intermarriage between Spaniards and Filipinos. In reality, the limited number of Spaniards led to a predominantly Chinese Mestizo population. Cultural representation. The term mestizo has often been misapplied, with many Filipinos claiming Spanish heritage without substantial historical basis. Genetic evidence. Genetic studies. Recent genetic research indicates that only about 1% of Filipinos possess European genetic markers, supporting the historical narrative of limited Spanish intermixing. The genesis of the Spanish Mestizo community. Early colonial encounters and social stratification. When Spanish soldiers, traders, and priests arrived in the archipelago, they brought their own social codes. Initial contact between these men and indigenous women took many forms. Some were formal marriages sanctioned by the church, but many others were informal unions. Spanish authorities eventually created a rigid social ladder to maintain control. This system placed peninsulars, those born in Spain, at the very top, while the indigenous population sat lower. The arrival of Spanish Mestizos created a middle tier that complicated this hierarchy. The emergence of a distinct social class. Spanish Mestizos were not just individuals with mixed roots, they became a recognized social category. By the 19th century, the colonial government had formal classifications that dictated taxes and legal standing. This distinction set them apart from the pure Spanish elite and the native majority. They found themselves in a unique position where they held some privileges due to their European bloodline yet lacked the full status of pure Spaniards. This tension forced them to carve out their own space in the colonial order. Factors driving intermarriage and relationships. Several factors pushed these unions forward. For many Spanish men, marriage to a local woman was a way to gain land or local influence. For indigenous families, a marriage to a Spaniard offered a path to higher status and economic protection. These relationships were rarely simple. They were driven by a mix of personal choice and the cold math of colonial survival. As trade expanded, these mixed families often gained more influence, cementing their role as key players in the local economy.
Cultural preservation. Many families now look back at their roots with pride. Preservation has become a way to keep family history alive. This includes keeping ancestral houses in good condition or keeping family recipes that have been passed down for centuries. Art, literature, and even religious festivals often show the traces of this dual heritage, keeping the story of the Spanish Mestizo alive in the modern day. The role of genealogy and heritage tourism. The internet has changed how people connect with their past. More Filipinos are using DNA tests and online archives to trace their family trees. This has sparked a rise in heritage tourism. People travel to provinces to visit the old homes of their ancestors or walk the streets where their families lived during the colonial years. This search for identity helps fill in the gaps that history books often leave blank. Documenting oral histories and family legacies. History is not just found in books, it lives in the stories of the elders. Families have a duty to record these tales before they fade away. If you have ancestors with a mixed heritage, write down what you know. Save old letters, photos, and records. These small bits of information, when put together, create a clearer picture of how families navigated the changes in the Philippines over the last few hundred years. The story of Spanish Mestizos in the Philippines is a reminder of how cultures blend and change over time. It is a story of resilience, adaptation, and contribution. While they were once a distinct legal class, their legacy is now woven into the fabric of the country. By looking at their history, we see how the Philippines was built, not by one group alone, but by the mixing of ideas, people, and traditions. This heritage continues to shape the identity of the nation, and it is a story worth telling for generations to come. Their identity reflects a unique blend of influences, but it is essential to recognize the limited scope of Spanish immigration and intermarriage in shaping this group.